Well, after a little over 6 months of working clinically as a dental hygienist, I never thought I'd be in this position, but I want to work less. And what makes this more difficult is that at the same time, my goals are getting more and more expensive. So I figured I'd kind of talk through what that's all about because I've been thinking about this for quite a while, to be honest. And when I say I want to work less, I don't mean not work at all, quit being a dental hygienist, or that I don't care about, earning money. What I mean is I just want less clinical days and less days that drain me more than they pay me back. Working less for me is about protecting my mental space and my energy and not checking out. Something I've had to get real honest about is the cost of certain shifts. For example, if I work at an office with paper charts, it's not just annoying, it's everything just takes longer and I end up leaving just mentally exhausted. When expectations change mid-shift, I have to recalibrate in real time, and the stress leaves me wondering if this was even worth it. And with these temp platforms and these temp apps, the reality is that one bad situation can follow you, which makes everything feel even more high stakes, which again leaves me feeling mentally exhausted at the end of the day, when all I want to do is go to work and do my job and come home and be free. None of this is about blaming offices. It's just about being honest about what this work kind of costs me. And so I think really what I'm wrestling with here is the trade-off. If I work more clinically, I have more money, but I'm paying for it with my energy. If I work less clinically, I get more time back and I expend less energy, but then the math gets tight when I'm looking at my goals. And although I'm trying to build other income streams, the payoff isn't immediate. As I mentioned, I've been an Amazon associate probably 3 times over now. I've never made a single sale, so there is no payoff there. I'm working on building my brand behind the scenes, but the payoff is not and will not be immediate. So when I take time off work to put time into those other things, I'm not seeing anything back yet. So it's not really as easy as, I'm picking between this good option and this bad option, and I can easily just pick the good option. It's like I'm picking between 2 different hearts, and it's like that saying, choose your heart. What heart do you want? Do you want the heart of working more clinically and having more money, or do you want the heart of working less clinically, having less money, but having more time to dedicate to other things that could possibly make you money? And that's really the part that's frustrating because it's all hard. There's no good answer. There's no path that I can just feel super good with taking and knowing, this is the right way to do it. And another thing that makes this feel probably more urgent or heavy than it would be is the timing. I have so many goals I talked about in my first video of the year. I want to get a dog. I want to go on vacation for my birthday. I want to start sewing. When you go on vacation, you have to buy your flight. You have to put a deposit down. You have to pay for your accommodation. My brother has a new baby and I want to go see the baby a couple times this year. And it's not that I can't afford these things. That's not it at all. It's that the timing of them is just too close together. And so with that being the case, it doesn't even feel like, just work more, do a 4-day week instead of a 3-day week every week. It doesn't feel like that's the solution. So rather than kind of deciding, this is definitely what I'm going to do, or this is the path I'm going to take, I've kind of decided to experiment a little bit. Right now, I've just finished week 1 of 4 weeks in a row of 4 days a week. And then I have a couple weeks where I'm doing 3-day work weeks with the idea of, working 3 days a week, a couple weeks, see how it feels both financially and mentally, see, if I'm getting things done that I would not have time to do if I was working on those days off or not. As usual, for me, I'm also always trying to figure out ways to make more money. I don't give plasma anymore just because the time trade-off is just not worth it. But things like bank bonuses, I talked about in one of my last videos. I got $325 from Wells Fargo. There's another account that I'm planning on opening, which is around $300 also. It's tax season. I don't know how the taxes are going to turn out, so I might get a little bit of a refund. These things kind of help add a little bit more coming in, so I feel more okay taking time off. But at the same time, In the back of my head, I'm always thinking, well, if you were just to still work 4 days a week and you're getting, a bank bonus for $300, that's a half day's of work right there, or more than a half day of work. And if you're getting a tax refund, that's just more money coming in. So there really is no cut and dry solution. So I'm not pressing myself to make a decision. I'm just taking it easy, experimenting, trying things out, and just seeing where does it go? How does it feel? And I'll just have to revisit it a little later, I guess. But I feel like that's kind of the responsible thing to do, rather than just making one decision and rushing into it and feeling like I have to do one thing or another. The goal is not to solve all this at once. So yeah, I don't really have it all figured out. I don't really have an idea of exactly how it's gonna pan out, but I'm okay with that. I think that making a decision from a place of clarity and calm is better than acting under pressure. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, and I'm sure that there will be many updates along the way about what I've decided to do. So if you are interested, definitely stick around, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.